My wife announced, "I don't respect you. You let me walk all over you." I smiled. "You're not wrong." Then I stopped being a doormat and started being her landlord. Her respect came quick when the eviction notice arrived. Original post: I, 38 male, am sitting in my home office, watching my wife Meredith, 36, frantically pack boxes while her sister yells at me through the window. How did we get here? Let me rewind. 8 years married, together for 10. The first few years were good, we were partners, equals. But somewhere along the way, I became the guy who just said yes dear to everything. Wanted to keep the peace, you know, happy wife, happy life, and all that BS. Looking back, the shift was gradual. Started with small things. She'd make plans without asking. I'd go along. She'd spend money on whatever. I'd cover the bills. She'd invite her family to stay for weeks. I'd sleep on the couch. Classic doormat behavior. 2 months ago, we were at her friend Natalie's birthday dinner. Meredith had been drinking, getting louder with each glass of wine. The conversation turned to relationships, and Natalie's husband mentioned how he'd surprised her with a weekend trip. "Must be nice having a husband who takes initiative," Meredith said, looking right at me. "Mine just does whatever I tell him. Zero backbone." Everyone went quiet. I just sat there, eating my overpriced salmon. "Seriously," she continued, "I could tell him to sell his car tomorrow and he'd probably do it. He's basically my assistant who pays the bills." Natalie tried to change the subject, but Meredith was on a roll. "You know what the problem is? I don't respect him. How can I? He lets me walk all over him. Real men have spines." The table was dead silent. I put down my fork, looked at her and smiled. "You're not wrong," I said calmly. She laughed, actually laughed. "See? Even now he won't defend himself." That night, she passed out the moment we got home. I stayed up until 4 a.m., going through our finances, property documents, and 8 years of being a pushover. Here's the thing about our house, it's mine. Inherited from my grandmother 5 years ago. Paid off, in my name only. Meredith wanted me to add her name when we inherited it, but for once I'd hesitated. My lawyer uncle had advised against it, said to wait. I kept meaning to do it, but never got around to it. Thank God for procrastination. I also realized I'd been paying for literally everything. Mortgage on our old place before the inheritance, utilities, groceries, insurance, her car payment, her student loans. She worked part-time at a boutique, made maybe $1,500 a month, which she spent on clothes and girls' trips. I'm a project manager, making decent money, and every penny went to our expenses while hers was her money. The next morning, she didn't even remember what she'd said. Business as usual. Told me to transfer money for her credit card payment, reminded me her mother was coming to stay next week, informed me we were going to her sister's for dinner Sunday. "Actually, no," I said. She looked up from her phone. "What?" "No to all of that. I'm done being your doormat." She laughed. "Oh, is someone feeling sensitive about last night?" I was just being honest. So am I. Things are changing, starting now. Update 1, the new rules. That Monday I met with a lawyer. Explained the situation, showed him the house deed, our financial records. He laid out my options. Since the house was inherited property and never commingled with marital assets, it remained mine. I could legally charge her rent or ask her to leave. I also opened my own bank account and redirected my direct deposit. Canceled all the auto payments for her expenses. Changed the Netflix password, petty but satisfying. Thursday evening I presented Meredith with a rental agreement. "What the hell is this?" she asked. "A lease. If you want to keep living here, you'll need to pay rent. Market rate for a room is $1,100 a month. I'm giving you the friends and family discount, $800. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "You're joking." "No joke. You said you don't respect me because I have no backbone. Well, I'm developing one. This is my house. You can either pay rent or find somewhere else to live. I'm your wife. Who just told a room full of people you don't respect me and treat me like an assistant? So now we have a business arrangement. You want respect? It's earned. You want to live here? You pay." She went nuclear. Screaming about how I can't do this, we're married, she has rights. I stayed calm, which made her madder. "Check the law, Meredith. Inherited property, never added your name. My house? You're a month-to-month tenant as of now. First rent payment is due in 30 days. She slammed the bedroom door. I slept in the guest room, my choice, not hers. The next morning, she was gone. Text started around noon, at my sister's. Can't believe you're doing this. You're having some kind of breakdown. This is financial abuse. I responded once. Rent is still due on the 1st. Update 2. The escalation. Meredith stayed at her sister Phoebe's for 3 days, clearly expecting me to cave and beg her to come home. Instead, I hired a cleaning service. Amazing what you can afford when you're not funding someone else's lifestyle. Moved my stuff into the master bedroom, boxed up some of her things from the common areas, had a locksmith come. Didn't change the locks yet, just got quotes. She came back Sunday night, acting like nothing happened. Walked in, saw her stuff in boxes, and lost it. What are you doing? Organizing. Tenants don't get to leave their stuff all over the landlord's common areas. Stop calling yourself my landlord. We're married. We are. And you're also living in my house without contributing. The rental agreement is on the kitchen counter. Sign it or start looking for apartments. She tried a different approach. Tears. Baby, what's happened to you? This isn't you. We can work this out. What happened is I grew a spine. You said so yourself. You don't respect me because I let you walk all over me. So I stopped. I didn't mean it. I was drunk. In vino veritas, Meredith. She grabbed her phone. I'm calling a lawyer. Good idea. They'll explain the concept of separate property. Monday, she actually did consult a lawyer. Came back looking defeated. The lawyer says, since the house is inherited and in your name only, you have no claim to it, correct? But we're married, 8 years. And for 8 years, I've paid for everything while you treated me like a doormat. Speaking of which, your car payment was due today. I didn't pay it. Her face went white. What? Not my car. Not my problem. Better call the finance company. She called me every name in the book. I pulled up my phone and showed her my new banking app. Look at that. My account balance is amazing when I'm not financing someone else's life. That's when she tried to play the victim card on social media. Posted this sob story about her abusive husband who was holding housing over her head and financially controlling her. The comments were interesting. Some of her friends supported her, but others who'd been at that dinner started asking questions. Natalie actually commented, "Didn't you just say last week you don't respect him and he's basically your servant?" Meredith deleted the post within an hour. Update 3. The extinction burst attempt. By week 3, Meredith was desperate. The car company was calling daily. Her credit cards were maxed. Her sister was sick of her complaining. Time for dirty tricks. First, she tried seduction. Came on to me one night, all dolled up. "I miss us," she purred. "Sign the rental agreement and pay rent. Then we can talk about us." She slapped me. Actually slapped me. I didn't react, just walked to my office and started typing. "What are you doing?" "Documenting domestic violence. Strike 1. "You can't be serious." "Dead serious. Hit me again, I called the police." She switched tactics. Called my mother, crying about how I'd changed and was being cruel. Mom called me. "What's going on with you and Meredith?" I explained everything, including the dinner humiliation and her admission that she doesn't respect me. Mom was quiet for a moment. "About time you stood up for yourself. Your father and I have been wondering when you'd stop being her piggy bank." Plot twist. My parents never liked how she treated me, but didn't want to interfere. Next, Meredith tried to get my boss involved. She actually called my workplace claiming I was having a mental health crisis and shouldn't be trusted with important projects. That backfired spectacularly. HR called me in, I explained the situation, showed them her texts admitting she was trying to make me see consequences. They documented it as harassment. My boss was furious someone tried to mess with his team. Then came the rental agreement deadline. October 1st. No payment. October 2nd, I served her with a formal eviction notice. 30 days to vacate. She stood there holding the paper, shaking. "You're actually evicting your wife?" "I'm evicting a non-paying tenant who happens to be my wife." "You can't do this. Watch me." She called Phoebe, wailing. I could hear Phoebe through the phone. "Just pay him the damn rent. How hard is that?" "I don't have it." "Get a real job then." Even her sister was done with her BS. Update 4. The meltdown. The next few weeks were hell. Meredith cycled through every manipulation tactic in the book. Guilt. "Remember our wedding? You promised to take care of me." My response, "And you promised to honor me." How'd that work out? Threats. I'll take half of everything in the divorce. My response, half of what? The debt you've accumulated? Be my guest. Bargaining. If you drop this eviction, I'll go to counseling. My response, pay rent and we can discuss counseling. Rage. She broke my gaming console. My response, filed a police report for destruction of property. Strike 2. Playing sick. Claimed she had stress-induced illness. My response, sounds rough. Rent's still due though. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Without her expenses, I had money, energy, peace. Started working out again. Got promoted at work. Probably helped that my boss knew someone was trying to sabotage me, and I handled it professionally. 2 weeks before the eviction deadline, her mother Beverly showed up. This woman had enabled Meredith her whole life. How dare you treat my daughter this way? Your daughter announced to a room full of people that she doesn't respect me and uses me as a bank account. She's your wife. You're supposed to provide. I did provide. For 8 years, while she treated me like garbage. Those days are over. You're going to be alone forever. No woman will want a man who treats his wife like this, like someone who expects equal contribution and respect. I'll take my chances. Beverly tried to storm through the house, saying she was taking her daughter's things. I blocked her path. This is my house. You're trespassing. Leave or I call the police. She actually swung her purse at me. I stepped back, pulled out my phone, and started recording. That's assault, Beverly. Leave now or I press charges. They left, but not before Meredith screamed, I'll destroy you in the divorce. Looking forward to it, I called back. Update 5. The divorce papers and reality check week 4 of the eviction notice. Meredith filed for divorce. Had herself a real lawyer this time, not just a consultation. Papers demanded spousal support, alimony, half the house value, half my 401k, half my savings, my car, because hers got repossessed, attorney fees. I laughed when I read it. My lawyer laughed harder. Her divorce attorney contacted mine. After reviewing the case, even her lawyer seemed deflated. Inherited property stays separate. I had documentation of paying all marital expenses. She had almost zero contribution to marital assets. The texts where she admitted to not respecting me and treating me like a servant, gold. My counteroffer, she gets her personal belongings, I keep the house, my inheritance, we each keep our own retirement accounts. Hers had $300. We split marital assets, about $5,000 total. No spousal support either way. Each pays own attorney fees. Her lawyer advised her to take it. She refused. Meanwhile, D-Day was approaching. November 1st, she had to be out. October 30th, she made one last play. Showed up with a U-Haul and 6 people, including Phoebe, Beverly, and some cousins. Tried to force their way in to get her stuff. You have until tomorrow at noon to vacate, I said through the door camera. You can remove your belongings then, with supervision. They pounded on the door. Beverly screamed about calling the police. I said, please do. I have an eviction order. They actually called the cops. 2 officers showed up, reviewed the eviction paperwork, and told them they had to leave and come back during the designated time. Officer to Meredith. Ma'am, you have until noon tomorrow to collect your belongings. If you're not out by then, you'll be forcibly removed. The look on her face was something. Final update, The Last Stand, November 1st, 11:45 a.m. Meredith showed up with a moving truck and her whole family. I had my lawyer and a police officer present. Lawyer's suggestion. She was different, defeated. The bravado was gone. Happy now? She asked as she picked up a box. I'm getting there. You destroyed our marriage over pride. No, Meredith, you destroyed our marriage when you decided I was a doormat instead of a partner. She started crying. Real tears this time, not manipulation tears. I didn't think you'd actually do it, any of it. That's the problem. You thought I'd always be your pushover, your personal ATM who you could disrespect publicly, and I'd just take it. I'm gonna be homeless. You're moving in with your mother. That's not homeless. My credit is ruined because you never paid your own bills. No one will rent to me. Then maybe you should have thought about that before treating your housing situation like a joke. Phoebe jumped in. You're heartless. She loved you. No, she loved what I provided. There's a difference. As they loaded the last box, Meredith turned to me one more time. You know what? You're right. I didn't respect you, but this... She gestured at everything. This doesn't make you respectable. It makes you cruel. No, Meredith, it makes me done. There's a difference. She left. Didn't slam the door, didn't scream, just left. It's been 3 weeks since she moved out. The divorce is proceeding. Her lawyer convinced her to take my offer after pointing out she'd get even less if it went to trial. Found out through mutual friends that she's working full-time now at a call center. Living with Beverly, who apparently makes her pay rent, ironic. She's telling everyone I became abusive and changed overnight. But here's the thing. People who were at that dinner, they know better. Natalie actually reached out to apologize for not speaking up that night. Said she should have called Meredith out but didn't want to make it worse. My mom came to visit last week, walked through the house, now organized how I want it. Sat in my living room, actually mine. "You okay?" she asked. "You know what? Yeah, for the first time in years, I'm actually okay." "Good. Your grandmother would be proud. She always said that house would be your sanctuary. Guess she was right. I'm not dating. Not interested right now. Just enjoying having a spine, a bank account that's actually mine, and a home where I'm not treated like the help." Meredith was right about one thing. She didn't respect me because I let her walk all over me. But she was wrong about the solution. The answer wasn't to keep being a doormat hoping she'd change. It was to stop being one entirely. The rental agreement is framed in my office now. Never signed, but it reminds me of the day I stopped saying "yes, dear" and started saying "pay rent or leave." Sometimes respect isn't earned through submission. Sometimes it's earned by standing up, even if you're standing alone. To anyone in a similar situation, you're not crazy. You're not cruel for demanding equal partnership, and you're definitely not wrong for refusing to be someone's doormat, even if that someone is your spouse. The house is quiet now. My kind of quiet. The kind where no one's telling me I'm pathetic, no one's spending my money while calling me spineless, and no one's mistaking my kindness for weakness. Turns out I did have a backbone. It was just buried under 8 years of happy wife, happy life. Now, it's just happy life. Period.